Hey Julie, how are you? Hopefully my cord will stay plugged in. I'm having troubles with my cord staying in, and while I was prepping, I should have had my phone plugged in and I didn't. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Good evening, Miss Veronica. How are you? Thank you for the badge. Hi girl, great, and you? I am well. I'm just really, really tired. Just been a long day, right? And it's like go, go, go from the time I get up in the morning. And of course, even though I'm not doing my morning job, I'm still up early because my body's just so used to it. So it's like I wake up, it's like 4:30. Morning job, I'm still up early because my body's just so used to it. So it's like I wake up, it's like 4:30, 4:45, you know, and I don't have to be up till like 7:30. So I lay here and I scroll, and then I, you know, get my messages. And anyway, I like it though better than when I did my morning job, because this way I can kind of get up leisurely on my own time, and I'm not just like hurry up, rush for, you know, half an hour, get ready quick, get out the door to go, you know. I can kind of just take my time now since I am used to getting up earlier. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from, if you're new. Sorry, this is the only time I sit still to put lotion on. My hands were so dry today from washing them 100 times. So I have a long one tonight, so I hope you guys are ready, because this might be the first, well, there was one night I think I went an hour and a half when I first started this last year. Thank you for the follow, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Veronica, thank you for all the likes. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Hold on, let me get my hands ungreasy so I can scroll back. Sorry, I just moved my whole tripod. Hands ungreasy so I can scroll back. Sorry, I just moved my whole tripod. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Thank you for the badge, Julie. So yeah, if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Okay, hold on. It's a slow go, Veronica, at the moment. I need to get the ball going, but I'm just got a lot going on in my life at the moment. Now you sound like my guides. When are you gonna, you know, they're constantly on me, you know. Your book's not done yet, you know, because I guess I let that slip, huh? I said I would be done writing it in March, at the end of March, and now we're in July. So yeah, you know, it is what it is, sadly. But yeah, I'm plugging away at things. It's just when you've got like 4 irons, 5, 6 irons in the fire all the time, it's just a lot. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Thank you, Julie. Anyway, sit back, and we have a long one tonight, guys. She gave me 3 pages, so it's going to be a long one tonight. It kind of goes along with what she wanted me to do like 2 weeks ago, and I was really tired, and then I didn't get on, and then the one night I got on, I'm like, I'm not doing it. Hi from Michigan. Is it Beth? Welcome. Sorry guys, I was already parched, so I made sure I brought plenty of water in, because I'm like, I knew with 3 pages I'm going to be talking a lot. And like I said, I was already parched, so I'm glitching again, I know. And I noticed when I uploaded my video today that I was glitching a lot last night. I just don't know what I can do about it, because I don't know if it's my internet or TikTok, or I don't know. Because last summer when I first started doing lives, it was like really, really bad. So I didn't know if it was TikTok or I just don't know. Thank you for the badge, Veronica. All right, guys. Well, we have a long one, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Excuse me. I feel like I'm going to... Okay. I felt like there was a burp there, but it wasn't coming. I didn't want to be rude. Let's see. Okay. So... if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. I started my TikTok. It was a year in March. The reason I started my TikTok is because on September 14th of 2023, for TikTok purposes, my husband unalived himself. And that's when I discovered that I had abilities to talk to my guides. Diamond, I'm not sure all the rest of that. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you for all the likes, Veronica. Velda, oops, crap, sorry. Velda, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. And so after my husband passed, I discovered I had abilities to talk to my guides, and they slowly breadcrumb me to my purpose, which is to help others through their loss and trauma and to uplift others. So that's why I'm here. So my page is your page. I created this page for anybody who's experiencing loss or trauma or just is lonely and they just need a place to go, somebody to talk to. Welcome to my community. We are not shy here, so you're welcome to pipe in any time. You're never interrupting me. I always believe the topic goes where the topic is supposed to go. I only have 2 rules. The first one is just please be kind. And the second one is we talk absolutely no politics here. It's not against one side or the other. It's just absolutely not at all what my page is about. And there's a million other pages out there for that. I always like to say I am on my journey where I am and you are where you are. And so we agree to disagree here. And if you can't do that, then I just ask that you hop off and keep scrolling. If you're just hopping on and tell me who you are, where you're from. If you missed it, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. So when I go live, my guides give me the topic. So tonight's topic is understanding your purpose. And it's a long one. She gave me 3 pages tonight, guys. So it's going to be a long one. I think I've went an hour and a half one time since I've been going live for the last year. So it might go a little over, depending on how many comments we got and questions, it might go a little over an hour, but I try to keep it right about to an hour. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for all the likes, Julie. So, she said, having a clear understanding of your values, goals, and passions, and actively aligning your choices, right? It's about finding meaning and direction in your life. Proactively pursuing personal growth and making meaningful contributions to the world. Hey Mark, where are you saying hi from? I'm Renee, I'm from South Dakota, welcome. Man, my hands are so dry, they still hurt. Oh, don't mind that noise, my cat hides in the cupboard from the other cat. So the door, they're always fighting at the door. Cassidy, thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. Julie, all the likes, of course. Appreciate you so much. So, setting goals and pursuing them. Having a sense of direction and actively working towards things that matter to you. Canada, welcome. What part of Canada, Mark? Just curious. I used to live up in North Idaho, so I think we were just below Alberta. Because I actually had an aunt named Yes. I used to live up in North Idaho, so I think we were just below Alberta. Because I actually had an aunt named Alberta, and she went there one time just so she could take a picture in front of Alberta could take a picture of the Alberta sign in front of the Alberta sign. Hopefully that makes sense. And then my husband and I visited Washington State regularly, and we were up right next to the border several times of, British Columbia. Abid, welcome. You don't know? Oh, okay. Glad to see you back, Abid. Welcome. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going. Like I said, pipe in anytime. You guys are never interrupting me. If you have any questions, you want to stop, just a comment, whatever it may be. It's fine. So let's see. Where did I leave off? Having a sense of direction and actively working towards things that matter to you, whether they are personal, professional, or community oriented, right? If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Making intentional choices, right? So living with purpose involves being mindful of your choices and aligning them with your values and your goals. Are my comments not coming through tonight, or just not any comments? Just curious. Let's see. Contributing to something larger than yourself, right? Which I guess is what I'm doing. Finding ways to make a positive impact on the world. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Tonight we're talking about understanding your purpose. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. Welcome. Glad to have you here. We are not shy here, so pipe in anytime if you have any questions or comments. So, my guide said, have you ever felt the call to help others? Anybody? I did. It's crazy because I've always felt that call, but I just never knew exactly what I was supposed to do. Liz K, always? Okay, so do you act on that out of curiosity? It's all in the imagination? Well, imagination is good, actually. Yes, you do. Okay, that's great. Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. To your detriment? Sadly, yes, I understand that sometimes. The thing is we have to learn boundaries at the same time, right? It's good to go after goals and helping others, but we also have to know boundaries. Just like, if you're not familiar, I'm also a medium. And there's times where, spirit wants to come through and it's not convenient for me, right? And so I have to set boundaries and go, right now is not a good time for me to channel, right? I have a cousin that likes to pop through. Sometimes he pops through when I'm channeling somebody else and I'll have to tell him, wait your turn, right? We have to set boundaries for our own betterment, right? And that's learning how to, and I'll catch up with the chat in a second. If you're new here, that's learning how to fill up your cup first and not depleting your cup and trying to give from an empty cup. That's part of it. Sorry guys, I just kept feeling like I had a burp in there and it wouldn't come out. Okay, let me scroll back. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Liz, thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. Okay, Ace, I'm going to ignore that you said that. That's your first warning. You only get 3 here and I'll block you. I don't like to block anybody, by the way. And same for the other J. Same thing. Thanks for the likes, Julie. So if you're not feeling that call, or if you are, and you're not doing, if you're holding back, what is stopping you? Or what is holding you back if you do feel that call and you're not pursuing it? Anybody? If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. I know for me, years ago in my old life, I wouldn't pursue things for several reasons. One, I didn't have the self-confidence to pursue them. I didn't think that I could, or that I was good enough, maybe. And also, my husband didn't always, there was things that I wanted to do and he would kind of poo-poo them, right? Okay, you don't get a third warning, Jay. Sorry. There we go. You're gone. Did I not read what you wrote? Veronica, am I not getting all of your comments again? Let me scroll back. Crystal Hicks, welcome. Glad that you're here. Sorry I missed your comment. Where are you from? Okay, Veronica, I didn't see your comment. No. I scrolled all the way back. Will it let you write it again? You wrote it twice? Oh, God darn it. I know. It happens all the time. It's not just you, Veronica. My friend Wayne, that's happened to him. It's happened to my friend Tanner. I don't know. It's just annoying. I don't know why. Like I said, they let those comments come, but they don't let my good comments. It's irritating. Thank you for the badge, Veronica. Did you want to try one more time? I am so sorry. And it's frustrating for me because, my page depends on people talking to me. And if I can't see your comment, then we don't have that interaction. It's just frustrating all the way around. Not for TikTok, apparently. Kid24, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank you for all the likes, Julie. We'll keep trying, Veronica. Maybe they'll let one come through. That's all I can suggest. It's so frustrating. You know what, Veronica? You know what? I have my old phone here. Where's that? If it's not dead, let me make sure it's not dead. Okay, it's dead. Never mind. Hold on. Nope, it was just off. Let me turn it on. Write it, if you can, hop out. If it's really important, hop out and write it in the DMs to me. And I can read it on here. Because I can get on my TikTok on Daryl's old phone. Let's see. Do you know your goals? Do you have goals in life, and do you know them? That's too much work for me. Actually, it isn't. If once I get the phone started, I can just go right to TikTok. But so do you guys have goals? Right? I have lots of goals now, right? I didn't have really any goals other than when my husband and I were together. We had different goals, obviously, because we planned a whole different life, and my goal was to downsize and sit on the beach all the time. And then my guides are like, and this is crazy because I actually got this message before. Not many people know this, but before my husband passed one day, I was just sitting there and I didn't know. I literally heard, which now I know was my guide, say, so you're going to go to the beach and you're going to just sit on the beach and then what, right? Because they knew that wasn't my purpose in life. They knew I wasn't on the path to my purpose, and doing that wasn't on the path. Not saying that in the process of my purpose that I won't be able to do that at times, but what my husband and I's plan was not part of my purpose, not part of the plan, so to speak, I guess you could say. Oy. See, every time that the trolls come out, the comments get hid, except for theirs. It's like it's purpose. I'm so sorry, Veronica. But like I said, it's like every single time that they send the trolls out and I get more than 1 or 2 or 3 trolls is the night that comments don't come through. And of course, this is I have 3 pages tonight. This would be a great night to have interaction, and apparently I'm not going to get much. Which is funny that they let your comment when you say that come through, but they won't let the comment that you're trying to tell me. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. They're throttling me. Like, my views are down. I don't know. So, do you know how to pursue them? So if you have goals, do you know how to pursue them? No, I wouldn't take it as that, Veronica. I would just take it as TikTok being TikTok. Yes, I do believe in signs, but I just think TikTok's just being a butt. Because like I said, the night that they send all the trolls out in full force and they let their comments come through is always the night I don't get the comments. Yeah, you can't take it personal. Because like I said, my friend Wayne's been on here, my friend Tanner, and it happens to them too. Different nights. It's like random. I don't know. So I'm just gonna kind of keep going. I guess I'll just keep reading. I don't know. Maybe I'm not gonna get tonight, but it is what it is. If you have something to add after this and you did try to comment, please message me after. In essence, living with purpose is about being the author of your own life, not a spectator. That really hits home with me because in the life that I had with my husband, I was kind of just being a spectator. Anybody else? I mean, I live in survival mode basically my entire life. Aw, thanks, Abbott. I appreciate that. How have you been, Abbott? Excuse me. Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. So, are you being a spectator in your life? Or are you being the author? You're great? Oh, good. I'm glad. And that's a really good question, I think, to ask ourselves sometimes, Are we being just a spectator, or are we being the author to our own story, right? And for the 32 years with my husband, I was just being a spectator. I was living in survival mode. And now I feel like for the first time in my life, I'm taking control of my life, and I'm the author of it, and I'm choosing this is what I'm going to do, and these are my goals, and I'm going to work towards them, and nobody's going to stop me, right? Hey, Michael, thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. So if you are being a spectator in your life, if so, how can you change that? First off, I guess you have to want to change that, right? You have to want to be the author of your life and not the spectator. That makes a huge difference. When you asked about helping people, I said yes, maybe. I'm not sure. I do know that I love volunteering. That's awesome. That's awesome. And there's a reason you love that, because you were given I apologize. I have fibromyalgia, and sometimes I forget little words. So the word I'm looking for is escaping me at the moment. Sorry, somebody just sending me an invite. I hate it when I lose the words I want. Basically, I'm glad that you have that want in you, that you want to volunteer. That wasn't at all the word I was looking for, but obviously it's not going to come. So, but yeah, that's great, because that, to me, that's inputted in you, right? That's part of your essence, part of who you are, when you already have that want in you. Okay. It's just these little words escape me. Just little things sometimes, even little silly words like the or something. I literally will forget them. The only thing that I ever forgot that was kind of big once is my husband and I went out for dinner, and I sat at the table, my food came, and I literally picked up the fork and I didn't know how to use it. My brain would not. Where most of the time, like I said, I know what I want to say and I can't get my brain to tell my mouth. It's crazy. So, but I literally lose words. One time I was a lunch lady and I was serving the same thing over and over to every child, asking them, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? Right? Same thing. And the 10th child or 20th child that went through, and it was I literally couldn't remember what that was called, and I had already said it 10 times. You know what I mean? It's just weird, random, stupid things like that. Anyway, y'all needed to know that. But so if I ever kind of have a brain fart, that's what's happening. Okay, so let's see. First of all, let's see. Oh, it's about consciously choosing to live in a way that aligns with what you believe and is important and makes your life meaningful, right? It's kind of a passion of mine. That's great. And see, that's what I believe. The divine gives us those passions for a reason. I'm a spectator. Life is drifting me away. Okay, so are you choosing that on purpose, Avid? Or what's going on there? Do you want to elaborate for me or no? Just asking. Like I said, I'll ask you questions. You never have to comment back. But, so one of the biggest things that my guide said, and I was like, yes, this totally nails what, for sure. It starts by not caring what the world or others think, right? And you wouldn't think that would apply to this, but it does, because how many times do we not step out into our talent because we don't want to step out of our comfort zone because, what would people think, right? For me and my purpose, I wouldn't be on here tonight. My guides are like, you have to go, you need to make all your accounts public. You need to get on TikTok. You need to be on YouTube. You need to be doing this. You need to be doing that, right? And if I had for me, it was more that I was just technologically challenged and I didn't know how to do all of that, right? But had I stepped back and said, well, no, because I'm afraid what people will think, right? So they would be controlling my purpose. I wouldn't be here helping other people or trying to help other people if I was more focused on what others thought of me, right? There are certain things not in your control. I don't mean to laugh at, but I'm not laughing at you, I promise. I totally understand that statement. I totally understand that. And because for me, when my husband unalived himself, my entire world crumbled. It imploded. Poof, gone. In that one split second of his decision, my life imploded. And I had no control over it. None whatsoever. There should be a good support system. How are you meaning that, Abed, sorry. Can you explain that? Because I hope that that's what I'm providing here for people. I hope. And I can't speak for any of you, but I hope those of you that have been on here before and come on here know that you can come here and that you will find support here. I hope that's the point of my community. Michael, thank you for the likes. I appreciate that so very much. And so living outside of the box that we were put in, right? Because the world puts us in this little box and says, this is how you should live. This is how you should think. This is what you should do. This is you should work a 9 to 5. Sorry, my supper tonight. I apologize. So the world tells us all of these things, right? But you don't have to abide by all those things, right? You don't have to live where the world tells you to live. If you want to live in a van, you can live in a van. That's your choice, right? Itty bitty, leave her alone. Sorry, I have a cat that he's always after my meal. My male cat is always after my female cat, if I could talk ever. But you don't have to listen to the world. I think that's one thing that we're learning is that, we don't have to do the things that the world tells us. We don't have to work a 9 to 5, right? You can do what you love to do. Get up every day and do what you love to do and make money. People have proved that, right? You have artists, you have painters, people that paint and they love to paint and they can do that every day and they make money from it, right? My goal in life is that I can travel and I can inform people about people unaliving themselves. Itty bitty! They're in the bathroom, so there's nothing I can do. That's my goal in life, is to inform people about, people that unalive themselves and to be able to travel and talk to people and speak to people and uplift them and motivate them to step out of the box that the world has created and that they can live their dreams, that they can live their make money from their talents, because that's why we were given them. The divine give us all of that so we would live and fulfill that, not to put it on the back burner and go, well, maybe someday, right? Someday is right now. That's all you have, right? Right here, right now. That's all you have. The past is in the rearview mirror and the future's not here yet, and the future isn't guaranteed. So right here, right now in the present is all you have. And so not being afraid to step out, right? And that's the hard one, stepping out into faith, right? And that's the tough one, right? Knowing that, and I can tell you right now, so my guides were going, okay, they knew what I've been working on, and they're like, okay, you've got 1 foot in and 1 foot out, but when are you ever going to be able to put both feet into this project if you're working 2 jobs and you're exhausted? And I was cutting back on my lives, which I shouldn't have been doing, but something had to give, right? And So my morning job basically got mental health issues are a significant concern in the USA. Yes, and I have a major project that I want to do to help with that also. Actually, a couple of them that will fit into that category. So that's also things that I'm working on for the future. So yes, it is huge. I agree, Abed, for sure. What was I saying now? Sorry, I get sidetracked, guys. Anybody remind me what I was talking about? Because I suddenly forgot. I have that can't remember crap syndrome. Exactly. You know, and we have, you know, our veterans, and, you know, the unalive rate with our, you know, preteens and teens is through the roof, and our veterans, right? And so that's my goal in life, is to, you know, I have lots of things in the fire that I want to deal with that. No, Veronica, I didn't see anything else that you wrote. There was nothing to my knowledge. Let me scroll back. The last thing I saw you write is, it's kind of like a passion of yours, you said of mine. Itty bitty, leave her alone. Come here, kitty. He's relentless. So doing it, that's what I was talking about. So, you know, my guides are like, so when are you going to fit this in? When are you going to make this a priority, right? And I'm like, well, I kind of have to work these jobs right now. And so basically my morning job was eliminated, right? And at first I was kind of like freaking out, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay my bills? What am I going to do, right? And then all of a sudden this calm came over me, you know, and it hit me that it was eliminated because here's the thing. Sometimes if we don't step out, the divine, our guides, will push us out, right? If they're like, okay, if you're not going to do it, then we're going to give you a good shove so you do it, right? So they eliminated my morning job. So they're like, okay, now you got time to write your book. You got time to work on your projects, right? Because you're only doing one job and you're not as tired. So sometimes, like I said, if we don't step out in faith, sometimes they kind of push us off the ledge, because sometimes we need to be pushed off the ledge, because we need to know that we can fly, but we can't because we're too scared to just jump, right? I'm sorry, Veronica. 1 in 20 have serious mental health problems. I have family members like that, you know, in my immediate family. And so I get it, Abed. I truly get it. Thank you, Julie, for all the likes. I appreciate that. So do it scared, my guide says. So what are some practical ways to cultivate a more purposeful life, right? And so I have 10 things. So I don't know if you want to jot these down or not, but 10 ways that you can cultivate a purposeful life. Happily tapping away. I appreciate that so much. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. And tonight we're talking about, how did I say that? Understanding your purpose. So here are 10 practical ways that you can cultivate a purposeful life. Number 1, recognize our strengths and our talents, right? And I think for some of us that's hard, right? Because I think, especially when, you know, I think for my generation too, especially, it's hard because, you know, we didn't always have people telling us we were good at things, right? And so, you know, it's hard for us to toot our own horn, I guess you could say, right? And so it's hard for us to recognize our own strengths because, you know, the world has kind of taught us to beat up on ourselves instead of uplift ourselves. So recognizing our strengths and talents. What are you naturally good at, right? What do you enjoy doing? Veronica, you said you enjoy volunteering. That's awesome. Is there a certain field that you enjoy volunteering? You know, domestic violence, homelessness, you know, is there something that you, in that you enjoy volunteering? What is your, what is it that you enjoy? Sorry, I just cannot talk today. I apologize. Or any night for that matter. Abbott, thank you for the likes. I appreciate that so much. Number 2, following your passions, engaging in activities that generally excite you or interest you, right? I'm a crafter. I enjoy sewing sometimes. Let me just put a little caveat to that. I love to sew when I'm not under pressure, but when I was doing craft shows, sometimes I hated to sew because I was a one-man show and I was spitting out stuff as fast as I could, you know, sew it, you know, and so sometimes it got to the point where it was like, I hate sewing. I love sewing when I'm not under pressure. But so what are activities that that generally excite you or interest you, right? Julie, thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm just really sad tonight because I was really hoping for some more interaction with all of this, but it is what it is. So I enjoy doing this. You guys, like I said, I can have the worst day ever and I can get on here with you guys and you guys just make my day. I enjoy helping other people. I don't know if that gal's still on. I'm kind of doubting it, but sometimes at our own detriment, yes, if we don't learn boundaries or fill up our cups first. You listen, okay? If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee, and tonight we're talking about understanding your purpose. Okay, good. All right, so number 3, helping others. Contributing to your community, right? So for me, I made a community and I hope that I'm contributing in a positive way and that I'm spreading my message and helping others, and hopefully others will never have to go through the loss that I went through, right? Dennis, thank you for the badge. I appreciate that so very much. Number 4, practicing gratitude. Now I know a lot of people don't think that this is in there, but one of the things that you discover in life, if you're doing any kind of growing or soul searching or shadow work, is you discover the more you're grateful, the more you put out to the universe that you're grateful, the more the universe gives back to you. So, practicing gratitude, focusing on good things in your life, and appreciating what you have. And I touched on this just briefly, I think on one of my videos. I think it was like a week or 2 ago. But over a couple weekends ago, I discovered that the little tiny things that when I was with my husband and in my old life, sorry, I'll stretch out my leg. Just little things that I took for granted that I never realized. Okay. That I never realized that I guess I wasn't grateful because I just took them for granted, you know, just silly little things like just having enough food. And, you know, and there's been times where, you know, we weren't financially well off and I had to worry about things like that. But, you know, that's really been a bigger concern this year, right? Because having enough money to pay my bills and having food and being able to feed my animals and just little things like that. Or, you know, having a good pair of shoes to wear to work. You know, I'm on my feet all the time, you know, excuse me. Just little things like that that I took for granted before that I didn't realize. So always being grateful. And clothes, right? I lost my husband and I lost 50 pounds. And all last summer I didn't have any clothes to wear. I had 3 pairs of gray pants, knit pants, and I cut them off so I had shorts to wear to work because that's all I had. I didn't have money to buy anything to wear to work in the summertime, and so I cut my pants off and I made do with what I had because that's how I grew up. You make do with what you got if you don't have it, and I didn't have it, and so I, you know, I made do with what I had. And there again, just taking for granted being able to go to the store and buying a pair of shorts that I couldn't do, right? I didn't have to worry about that before. Okay, number 5, and we just kind of touched on that a little bit ago, is live in the present, right? Being present. And that is something that I struggle with. And my guides have been trying to teach me this for way before my husband unalived himself. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. And so being present, right? Being mindful here and right now. Not living in the past that is gone. It's gone, right? That door is shut. You can't, it's in the rearview mirror. You can't go back. You can't change it, right? The future isn't even here yet. You know, how many of us are so worried about the future? You know, and my mom has this saying, and I love it, and I use it a lot, and I need to, there's days where it's like I really need to listen to my own self and my mother's, you know, phrase, because there's times where it's like I get to worrying about the future, and it's like my mom always used to say, cross that bridge when you get there, right? So when it comes, then you can deal with it, but be right here, right now, in the present, right? And so sometimes I need to take my mom's own advice that I tell people, right? Cross that bridge when you get there. So being present is all we have. And here's the thing, is sometimes right here, right now in the present, we're going through something, and maybe it's not something fun to go through, right? I know there's a lot of things I'm going through right now in my life, and have been for the last 21 months since my husband unalived himself. And, you know, so I don't want to be present in that, because I don't want to be in that. I want to, you know, I want to skip forward. When's the good coming, right? But what I fail to realize in that is that when you're not even in the present moment, this is part of the journey, right? Part of life's journey. The good, the bad, the ugly. It's all part of the journey. And so when you're not present, even in the difficult times that you're going through, that's part of your journey. You're missing it, right? And there's still things that we can take from that. Oh, thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Thank you for the badge. So there's things that we can still take from that, and, you know, things to be grateful for that are part of this moment in the present. And, you know, that's part of the journey that we can absorb. And because someday we're going to look back on that and go, because I know I can right now. There was a time frame in my life, and if you've never heard this story, you know, we were struggling. You know, it was Christmas time. I didn't have any gifts for the kids. I didn't have any money. I didn't have money for groceries, you know, and we went to Christmas with my dad, and my dad gave us like a $75 gift card to the grocery store. So I went and bought Christmas dinner, and I was overdrawn in my checking account, like a lot. And I mean, it was just, I thought it was like the most awful time of my life, right? And I thought I was going to be there forever. And so a lot of other moments in my life, I look back on that experience and I go, at that moment in time, you didn't think you were going to get through that. But guess what? It all worked out, and you did. You got through that moment, right? And so, I forgot where I was going with that. Sorry. Y'all probably know. But it's so just always being present and grateful and knowing that it's going to work out, right? Having that faith. Because I'm not sure where else I was going. With that. Sorry, guys. It's one of those kind of nights, apparently. Number 6, being true to yourself, right? Taking off the mask of who you might think the world wants you to be, and not trying to be someone you're not, right? I could get on here and I could always make sure my hair is done. I mean, it looks scrappy today because it was up in, you know, ponies all day, you know, but I could get on here and make sure my makeup was perfect, and, you know, I looked okay, and my hair was just perfect all the time, and I could do my reels and make, you know, and make sure I always have makeup and I look perfect. But that's not who I am. That's not that's not me, right? So I wouldn't be being my true self, right? And like I've said a million times, when I started this journey, I told my guides, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be 100% authentic all the time. Sometimes you're going to get dirty hair, don't care. It's actually clean tonight, guys. It's just been up all day. But some days you're going to get dirty hair, don't care. Some days you're going to get makeup. Some days you're not going to get makeup, right? You look at my reels, and there's, when I do them on my day off, I have absolutely no makeup on. My hair might be in a bun, right? I might still be in my jammies. If they give me a message, sometimes they're like, you need to get this message out right now, right? It's nothing for my guides. They don't do it as much anymore, but they used to. Wake me up at 2 a.m. or at midnight and go, you have a message and you need to get it out right now, right? So it was like bedhead and jammies, whatever, right? You're putting that message out, right? So being your true self, that's who people want. They want you to be who you are. And I missed a lot in the chat, I think. Let me go back. Is it Corey? Thank you for the badge. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you. Thanks for all the likes, Julie. I appreciate that. So take off the mask. You don't have to wear a mask. Just be who you are, right? The divine, God, universe, whatever it is you believe, the creator made you to be you for a reason, right? And I always said, when I was in high school, I was the circle that didn't fit in the square, right? I've said that. I was the unique girl. I didn't fit in, right? And I've always said since I was a teenager, if God wanted me, or the creator, whoever you say, if God wanted me to walk and talk and look like everybody else, he would have made me walk and talk and look like everybody else. But he didn't. He made me me, the circle that didn't fit in the square, the unique girl, right? The girl that didn't dress like everybody else, that didn't talk like everybody else, that didn't act like everybody else, the girl that didn't fit in, right? He made me me for a reason, and most of my life I thought I was broken. So let me give you a clue. If you think you're broken or thought you're broken, you're not broken. You're not broken at all. You're just you. So be you. Okay? Okay. Sorry. And then my guide put this, she highlighted this. She said, embrace your authentic self. That's very important, my guide. She puts that message out regularly. So number 7, embrace change, right? For some people, that's hard. For me, I'm learning to embrace it. Change is my life. Has been my life for 21 months. And even before that, my husband and I, we moved a lot. And no, we weren't, people would always be like, were you military? When they found out we moved like 26 times in like 28 years, they're like, are you military? No, we just like change. We just, we got bored easily living in one place. We wanted to go try someplace else, right? Life is short. Why be stuck somewhere you don't want to be, So embracing change. Sometimes change is good, right? So view transition as an opportunity to grow or to change your perspective, right? And we talk about that. I've talked about that a lot. Changing your perspective. In my case, I more embraced that my life imploded after I changed my perspective that this wasn't happening to me, it was happening for me, right? And then I started to embrace it. My guides are like, I want you to get on social media, and I want you to do this and this and this and this, right? And I just kind of learned to roll with it and embrace it because, like I said, I learned that it wasn't happening to me, it was happening for me. So just twerking that perspective a little bit helps. Okay, number 8. Cultivate positive emotions, right? And this one is huge. And some days I suck at it. I'm just going to be honest. Practicing mindfulness and gratitude, right? And it's hard. It's hard sometimes to practice positivity. When I've been honest. The last couple weeks I feel like I've had every single time that, I was thinking positive, it was like I would get a sock in the gut. And it's like, okay, just throw me a bone here. I need something, right? So being mindful And that's what's really hard, is because a lot of times our ego is there to protect us, but sometimes we need to learn how to tell our ego to shut up, right? And so sometimes maybe we have all this positive kind of going on around us, but our ego's telling us, you know, doing that negative self-talk that it likes to do, right? And that's when we have to be mindful of what we're thinking about and go, no, shut up, ego, you know, embrace change, look past the struggle, and have faith. That's the hard part, Julie. Looking past the struggle, right? Knowing that the struggle isn't going to be forever. That's the hardest, I think, sometimes, for sure. Number 9, and I just wrote set goals. I didn't really put anything for that, but if anybody has anything, we can always talk about that. Let's see. Number 10, seek inspiration from others. Look to people you admire. Lay down, Bentley. You're fine. Look to people you admire. I took him out and he's been fed and all that, so I'm not mistreating my dog, I promise. We do all that before we get on the live. He's just thinks he has to, like, you know, go out every hour when I'm home. He can be in his kennel all day while I'm at work and be just fine, but when I'm at home, he thinks he rules the roost. So just saying, trust me, he's well fed and he goes out and yeah, lay down. Mom's busy. Lay down. Okay. So look to people you admire and learn from their experiences, right? And then last but not least, I wanted to, my guide wanted me to throw this in there. Be patient and persistent. Finding your purpose is an ongoing process, not a destination. And I agree, because I kind of know what my purpose is, but it still is an ongoing destination. It isn't, it doesn't just stop, right? So yeah, thanks for all the likes, Julie. I appreciate all of you that have stayed here. Hopefully I didn't bore y'all to death. Does anybody have any questions or anything they want to add to that real quick? Otherwise I'm going to do my lovely little plugs that I got to do. Okay, so if you're not familiar and you're new here, I have a YouTube channel. It's under Scorpio Medium. And if you're not a subscriber over there, I would love it if you went over there to subscribe. You'll find all of my videos that I upload here over there. The only difference is if you miss a live and you'd like to catch that, I upload those over there. I have an email in my bio here or over at Scorpio Medium. And so, like I said, I am a medium, and so if you are interested in me doing a reading with somebody on the other side, I charge $40 for those. Keep pushing forward, look to the future, not the past. I know, and that's in the beginning, that was not so much now, but that was a huge struggle for me. And then I have moments, right, where like I have all these memories and then of things that we did, and then maybe memories of, oh, well, we're going to do this, and oh, we should go there and do this, and right. And then that's when I kind of sometimes, I guess you could say in a way, self-sabotage myself and have a moment, and then I backtrack back, because it's like, then I, instead of being grateful for where I'm at or what I did have, instead of being grateful for where I'm at or what I did have, then I'm kind of, you know, living in the, I'm never going to get to do that, or I wanted to do that and now I won't. You know what I mean? So kind of that bad self-talk, the ego there thing again, right? But anyway, so yeah, so if you'd like a reading with somebody on the other side, my email is in the bio. So if you email me, that's how we set that up. I am live Sunday through Wednesday between 7 and 8 o'clock Mountain Time, usually about 7:15, 7:17, because if you're new here, I love angel numbers, so 7:17 is a number for me. A new thing that's coming, not this week, but on the 17th, if you go to Scorpio I'll try to get it. Scorpio Medium, 7 o'clock Mountain Time. My friend Jen and I are starting Real Talk with Renee and Jen over there on my YouTube channel on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. Don't miss that. We've already got a lot of interesting topics we're going to talk about. Tyson, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. So we will be starting that on the 17th, because I'm taking a free workshop this Thursday. I'm so excited. I'm learning how to do tarot, And so I know a lot of people think poo-poo, but you know, it's just like I said last night, they're just cards. It's just a tool, and it's, you know, learning how to use it for good and not for bad. So if it's not your thing, that's fine. You know, we don't have to ever discuss it again, but I'm excited about that. And last but not least, I do have a Venmo in my bio, and my guides told me I have to put it there because I am offering a service. So if you like my content and you would like to support me, if you can't, I don't want you to, you know, obviously if you can't, don't. But if you would like to support me in my my adventures here and to help me continue to make my content, I do have a Venmo and you can donate there. So that's pretty much everything I have for tonight. Does anybody have any questions? Did anybody have a loss or anything this week? Anybody? Going once? Going twice? You guys were an awful quiet group tonight. I was so excited. I had all these pages and then, uh-oh, what's happening? Oh, it's probably going to ask me. Hold on. I have to put the puzzle piece together because after you're on for like an hour, it's like, are you still there? So yeah. Anyway, but I'm thankful that all of you that did stay and that came tonight. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the love you give me, all the likes, all the badges. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So I appreciate you all very, very much. I hope you all have a great night. Remember to make tomorrow great because it is a choice. And I'm going to say on that note, until we meet again.